I'd like to tell a little bit how the Rebbe started being Magiya again, the Sichos for Likutei Sichos after Simchas Torah Tovshin Lamed Gimel. We know that Tovshin Lamed Beis, the Rebbe wasn't Magiya Likutei Sichos. The Rebbe was Magiya Likutei Sichos in the year Tovshin Yutes Yutes. Then those are the Chalokim Aleph and Beis. Then he was Magiya Tovshin Chav Gimel, which is Chalokim Gimel Dalet. Then he was Magiya Lamed Aleph, which those turned into Chalokim from Yud to Tes. And then he stopped. And then he started again being Magiya after Simchas Torah from Breishis Tovshin Lamed Gimel. So I want to say exactly what happened. Concerning the reason why the Rebbe stopped after Tovshin Lamed Aleph, the Rebbe spoke about it by Fabrengen, Simchas Torah Tovshin Lamed Beis, and explained the whole reason, the whole test that he took. Anyway, Lepel, the Rebbe stopped. And so Tovshin Lamed Beis, the whole year, the Rebbe wasn't Magiya the Sichos. But we thought there were a group of Yingolite of us that we had a Shaykhs to Chazor anyway, to Fabrengens. So we thought maybe we could get involved and we could ask the Rebbe again to be Magiya, the Sichos, starting from the year Tovshin Lamed Gimel, and again give out Likutei Sichos. So during the summer of Tovshin Lamed Beis, the three of us, which is Rabbi Leibel Kaplan, Olav Hasholem, and Unzel Angeyor, Rabbi Schapiro, and myself, we decided we will try to prepare the Sichos for the Rebbe to be Magiya and see maybe the Rebbe will be Magiya again, the Sichos. The Gashmiziki people who were involved in Vadlafot the Sichos and sending out the Sichos and preparing the print and everything else was Reb Zalman Chanin and Reb Sholem Jacobson. And we were the three who decided, let's try to work on it. So during the summer, we prepared a few Sichos as samples to give to the Rebbe should see, and maybe the Rebbe will start being Magiya. So we prepared Breishis, Noach, Lech Lecha, Vayerech, Hayisora, Teldis, Vayetze, these 7 parshas. We wrote it up. We actually rolled it in Lashon Kodesh because we thought maybe this will be better and there'll be more chance that Rebbe will be Magiya, whatever reason. But we prepared these parshas and we gave it into the Rebbe during the summer, hoping that the Rebbe would be Magiya. And we wrote that we are the ones that wrote it. In other words, we wrote the Rebbe who were the ones who prepared it. And we're asking the Rebbe to be Magiya it for Breishis and to start being Magiya the Sichos for Likutei Sichos again. We didn't hear anything throughout the whole summer. Ein Kelva, we didn't hear anything from the Rebbe. We didn't hear anything with the Maskirim. We asked them, do they know anything? And they said, no, they don't know anything what the Rebbe is planning. The Rebbe didn't say anything, so they don't know. And that's what went on the whole summer. Till finally, it got to Chodesh Tishrei. Now, Tishrei was very busy by the Rebbe, so it was very hard to expect that the Rebbe should be Magiya Sicha then. But nevertheless, we had hopes, and we thought maybe the Rebbe will be Magiya. Came beginning of Tishrei, Seres Mitzvah, and before Sukkot, and then came Chalamayt Sukkot, and we didn't hear anything. So we don't know. We still had hopes, but we don't know. The Rebbe didn't say anything. So we thought maybe, because we know from previous years, that Hishana Rabbah at night was a Zman Sugul, a time when the Rebbe, if he wanted to be Magiya Sicha, that was a good time to be Magiya. It seems like maybe it was because after the Rebbe finished saying Chumash Dvarim, till he came down to say Tillim with the minion downstairs, in between he was Magiya the Sicha. I don't know, but this is what it sounded like. But we knew that it happened a few years, that if there was a Sicha to be Magiya, the Rebbe was Magiya it Hishana Rabbah at night. So we thought maybe this is the pshat, that maybe this year he will be Magiya at Shana Rabbah. So actually we were standing outside the Rebbe's room, a little in the hallway there by the Gan Eden Tachten, and we were waiting because before the Rebbe went down to Tillim, one of the Maskirim would go in, and the Rebbe would give him whatever he wanted to give him, to give out, whether it was answering letters or whatever the Rebbe gave them. So we thought maybe this is a time, because it's getting late already for Parsha Breishis, so we thought maybe if the Rebbe is Magiya, maybe he'll be Magiya tonight. The Maskir went into the Rebbe, and we're standing and waiting with our hopes up high. Pale, he came out, nothing. The Rebbe did not give out any Sicha, nothing Mugis, so we didn't know what to do. So we thought to ourselves like this: Simchas Torah is coming, then there's Kosher Bracha. So let's all 5 of us go to Kosher Bracha together, because the Rebbe knew that we are the group. So if the Rebbe would see us, we would make like a presence in front of the Rebbe that's making a point that we're here as a group. So we all went together, and the Rebbe looked at us, and he saw us all coming together. He gave each one Kosher Bracha, and then the Seder was that he would give a Badla Mashke to the Shluchim or to Meizdes, to different people, give a Badla Mashke in addition to the Kosher Bracha. So the Rebbe took a bottle of mashke, a small bottle, those used to be small bottles, and he gave it with such a big smile, saying, "Dos is for Vad Lafot Sichos." Now, the name of the organization that we had is called Vad Lafot Sichos. So he gave the bottle of mashke with a smile, "Dos is for Vad Lafot Sichos." Oh, so when we walked away, we thought, it seems like even though the Rebbe didn't say anything, but this big smile seems to be an answer that he is accepting what we're asking. But we weren't sure, because actually the year before when the Rebbe stopped being Magiya, so also one of the people in Vadla Sichos, the Rebbe gave a big smile. So, and the end was that he wasn't Magiya, because they asked him, as they wrote letters to the Rebbe, asked him to change his mind, and the Rebbe smiled by kosher bracha, so they thought maybe that's a simon that he's changing, that he is going to start, and it didn't work. So we thought maybe now the same, but we hoped it wasn't. We hoped that the smile meant that the Rebbe is Magiya. So according to that, we hope that the next morning, Isru Chag Sukkos, when the Rebbe will come from the house in the morning, the day after Simchas Torah, he will bring the Sicha Mugya. So we made up to come early to 770. We came early to 770. We were all standing there waiting for the Rebbe to come. The Rebbe came, and we're there. The Rebbe walked into his room, and as the Seder was, one of the maskirim went into the Rebbe, and whatever the Rebbe would bring back from home, what he did, any answers or whatever it was, he would give him to take out. So we were hoping that the maskir would come out from the Rebbe's room, and he would bring the Sicha Mugya. The maskir came out, nothing. The Rebbe didn't say anything, the Rebbe didn't give anything, so we didn't know what happened. So we decided we're going to try something else. Now, it was a big risk. What we did was we made a copy of the Sicha for Breishis, and we wrote a little zettel clipped to this Sicha that we prepared, and we wrote like this, Kveit Kedushas Admor Shlite. This is the Sicha that we're preparing to give out for Shabbos Breishis, and we're asking the Rebbe to be Magiya. Basically, they were saying we're giving it out as if saying no matter what, and we're asking the Rebbe to be Magiya. It is a big chutzpah, because what do you mean you're telling the Rebbe you're giving it out? How could you say that? We're asking the Rebbe to be Magiya. How do you have a right to give it out? But we thought maybe if you write it that way to show that we're really, really determined, it might help. But we didn't know. We were waiting to see what will happen, because the Rebbe could have answered, what do you mean you're giving it out? It's a chutzpah. So it was a chutzpah. But we thought also it says, chutzpah klap shmayim ahana. Sometimes if you have chutzpah towards shamayim, it sometimes helps, because if you see the determinations, that sometimes works. So we tried it. So we gave him the Sicha with that settle. We also added that because there are still a lot of orchim here, came for Tishrei, so certainly this would help. So we gave it in, and we're waiting. A few hours later, the Sicha came out Mugya. This Sicha that we gave in came out Mugya. We still were not sure 100% it's going to go on for the whole year, because we wrote that, especially that there are Orchim here, so maybe the Rebbe only gave it out because of Pasha Breishis with the Orchim. So we were waiting, and Lepel for Pasha Neach, the Rebbe gave out the Sicha also. So that's how we got that Rebbe Lepel was Magiya, the Sicha Tovshin, the whole year Tovshin Lamed Gimel, and then Lamed Dalet, and then Lamed Hey again it stopped. So far it was only 1 or 2 years in a row. And then when it started again in Tovshin Lamed Vov, it went on like this till Chov Zayin Oder Tovshin Nun Beis.